We had a horrible storm last week. I mean, we had winds in the mid-70s, and we lost a couple dozen poplar trees. I mean, they're like 100-foot tall trees, and they fell all over, including on our house. And we were really, really lucky. We were all okay. But our yard looked like a battle zone. I really mean it. And I love those trees. And half of those trees are down. And we have a lot of trees. And I don't think any of our trees came out unscathed. But those poplars were down. I mean, the others, sycamores, they lost branches. And I looked at these trees hanging over our house, and I couldn't help but think of our nation right now. I mean, our little 24 acres, kind of a microcosm for our nation. I had a lot of work to do, and a lot of cleanup. Now, I love all of our trees. I mean, that's sycamores, mulberry, asa willows. We got a lot of asa willows. We got dogwood. We got several lines of, I have no idea. We have 3 out on this pasture out here. They're kind of alone, and Tammy always calls them the 3 graces. I've always liked that. But the poplar, they were really broken. I mean, they were knocked down. Even though the others were broken, they weren't anywhere near as bad as the poplar. They needed all the attention. Last week, I've had more than a few people contact me and ask me my opinion. They'll forward me maybe a meme that they posted, or they said something, and they'll send me some screenshots of conversations from Facebook. And the deal is, they got a response that they didn't understand. They thought they were helping, but they touched a nerve when they said something like, "All lives matter." And that's completely true. Make no mistake whatsoever. All lives matter. Black lives matter. White lives matter. Blue lives matter. And everything in between. Every color in between. All lives matter. And all my trees matter. But the broken ones that were on the ground, they were the ones that needed the attention. They needed the focus. They needed the love. I mean, there isn't one tree on our property. I say that it wasn't damaged on some level, but the poplars were decimated. And if I spent all my time in the last few days focusing on all the trees, the poplars would have perished completely. And I cut them all down to about 14 feet and pulled them up again. And they're not what they were. And they're going to show the scars from the experience, but they're going to grow. And they're up. I'd put the needs of the others aside for a little bit of time so these didn't die. And now I can spend time addressing all the other trees on our property, and as I continue to care for those poplars. When the poplars were down, all the trees were important, but they would have been destroyed if I spent all my time focusing on the equality of the others. We have some lives that have been hit by storms over and over and over and over and over again. And they've been knocked down, and we need to put some focus on them. Rather than giving lip service to equality and then just really focusing on ourselves. Any metaphor is going to break down eventually. I totally get that. But I hope you get the point. All lives matter. No question whatsoever. But we need to understand, for the sake of our nation, that Black lives matter. And they've been hit by a storm again and again and again, and we have to stop and acknowledge it. We have to deal with it so we can heal as a nation. Or else what's going to happen? Enmity, strife, jealousy, anger, quarrel, dissension, faction, envy. We've been seeing that happen more and more and more as a nation, and it is killing us. We're like a tree knocked over by the wind, and we're trying to fix it with a hammer. I really think the only way to change, we got to focus on loving others as ourselves. I mean, that means if somebody's down, we put our needs aside and we go and take care of them. And then I think we're going to start seeing the fruit of the Spirit embodied around us: love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. I mean, those are the things that I correlate with our great nation. Or at least I used to. And I believe we can again.